Okay, you ever heard of the Basslet?
The Basslet? Mm-hmm. Is that like the basement?
No. This is a Kickstarter that has got 460,000 pounds so far. It is a watch-sized subwoofer for your body.
Wow, does it make your whole body into a woofer then?
Experience powerful bass anywhere you go for music, gaming, and VR. It's a whole new technology of sound. It delivers the beats and bass lines of your music directly to you, so you can literally feel the music. It looks like a watch.
Wow, make your rivets rattle so when you walk by.
Right. Powerful.
What is that? Oh, Joey, he's over in the toy section again.
The result is a powerful sound experience that headphones alone cannot provide. A masterpiece of engineering puts the power of accuracy of a large sound system into a device that fits on your wrist, completely silent to the outside world, and despite the size, it makes you feel like you're surrounded by size.
Did he escape from Bose Laboratories? I have it! I have it!
It looks, a lot of people are excited by it. It has a 50,000 pound goal, and it has raised 460,000 pounds. So we're going to see this soon. Low Felt is the guy, and if you go to Basslet, BASSLET.com, or the Basslet.com, you can see more about it. But
boy, that sounds kind of fun. I mean, that really redefines a whole mobile show. Forget boom boxes. In the '80s, we carried them on our shoulders and set them out on the street. This, like, what you just get a small hat with a couple cones on top, or your bass watch, and you're ready to wiki anywhere.
There's a guy here who they got a video of a guy who's doing engineering in his bedroom, engineering some music, and he's got some headphones and this thing.
And this thing.
It looks like a watch.
That's like vibrating his body.
Apparently.
Wow.
Experience the epicness of the audio.
The epicness. I want to experience epicness.
Epicness. Who doesn't?
That's
really?
like the best sales word in the world. Epicness. You just like whatever. If your sales meeting isn't going great, then just say it's epicness, and they'll be like, "Wow, why are we talking? Give me a check."
Connect to your smartphone, your laptop, your gaming console, your VR headset.
Well, I think they should send us one. They should send us one to try.
Even to your old Walkman, no app required. Connect the sender. Oh, this is how you do it. Connect the sender to your phone, laptop, or music player, and plug in your headphones. Strap the Basslet to your wrist. You're done.
Whoa!
Saying.
Well, will it mess with my Fitbit? I think it'll get you more credit.
Will it mess with my... I've been feeling a little constipated. Turn up the music.
It also serves as a portable defibrillator.
Oh, my Lord. It's just crazy.
No, that's just EV subs.
I wonder how much you're going to try to sell this for. What would you pay for something like this?
What would I pay for something like that? Oh, gosh, I don't know. Is it going to actually deliver on its promise?
Yes.
Okay, well then it can't be so cheap that I don't care if it actually delivers on its promise. Have you ever noticed that? You buy something new, it's a total piece of crap, and you feel like, oh, it fell apart. You're like, but it was only $10. I should have known, right? You have this expectation that it will fall apart at that price, but yet you bought it anyway, which I don't understand. That's whole psychology, which is like a whole nother ball of
whole nother show.
It's all in
this guy. It's a Kickstarter, so it's a guy who started his own thing, and he probably was working for like Bose or somebody else. So he was an employee, now he's an owner. And guess what? We were going to talk about ownership today.
Ownership.
On the Bill and Jason Show. Hi.
What a great
I'm
leader.
Bill Hermann, that's Jason Jones. And today we're going to talk about the ownership mentality.
Boy, in transition land, that would have been a rainbow right there. There's that would be as close to a microphone drop as we're going to have happen here. So last week we were talking about what it is to be coming in and having sales conversations from the point of view of I'm an employee and you're hiring me.
Right.
Versus I'm a business owner and I'm providing you with a service or experience or something that you need to be able to complete on. So they're hiring your expertise,
right.
Which you are hiring expertise of an employee, but that's to fulfill a certain task.
Right.
Whereas you're asking for a certain result when you're talking about hiring from someone who comes from the owner mentality, or it serves you best if you're actually speaking to a client about what results do they want, what results are important to them, and then how does that match with how you deliver, and then how are you different in that point of view.
Right. And I think that stepping out of the employee mentality and into the ownership mentality, especially if you've been an employee of other people for so long, It's almost like stepping into the sun. The first time you notice it, first time you realize that you have to talk differently, that you are walking differently, that you're thinking about money differently, you're thinking about customers differently. I guess if people are trying to do that, if they hear this for the first time and go, I want to think like that. So what do you say to them? How do they have that epiphany? Because I had one. I don't remember, though, if I can say how it was that I had one. You know what I mean? I had enough conversations with other owners, maybe, and then I heard them thinking and talking differently. And I started to think, well, I started to see them maybe as peers, as opposed to an employee sitting around watching long enough to kind of see how it's done. Does that make sense?
Is that how? I mean, is that the progression that you remember?
I don't know. It's been a long time. I don't know if I remember the epiphany, but I do remember that one day I was thinking like an employee, and the next I was thinking like an owner.
Well, it wasn't like, as I reflect on my experience, it wasn't one day. One day I became aware of that it's like that it doesn't work. It's not working if I approach this like the arguments I'm making for my value as an employee are not resonating. It's not working at all. It's not applied. So what is missing here? And then I really started to see, well, it's my point of view that I'm speaking from that's missing. It's the problem. It's that I'm looking at this like you're hiring me like an employee, so I'm just here to do my job and not concerned about anything else. Whereas when I took it on like I'm taking on this experience, it's like I'm taking on something and producing a result for them. Then that started to shift. But it wasn't got it. And then I went into this new conversation. It was like over a course of a couple of years and meeting after meeting of like, what was I talking now? Because it's like deeply ingrained to think like an employee. And there's, again, nothing wrong with it. It's just that is what happens when you are in like a culture of employment. And we're even kind of raised here. They don't tell you like, hey, get a good education so you can start a great business. Nobody ever. Who told you that? Did anyone ever tell you that?
Right.
They said, get a great education so you can get a great job.
Right.
So someone else can give you a great job.
Right. Well, and even in the job world, when you have a boss, when you have, let's say you have your first kid and you need a raise, you don't go in there and tell them we need a raise because of this great.
Because I had my first kid and now I need I got this huge car payment.
Right. Or I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this, and the boss looks at you and goes, well, yeah, that's your job. That's you do that. Even the boss will say, what else are you going to do for me? Then I give you a raise. Or they start to think how valuable. Usually the people who get their raises are the people that look across and they know that they are too valuable to lose. So you need to invest more in me. You have an owner who sees that sort of thing. So you end up, I guess what I'm trying to get to is that there's a justification to trying to get a raise. You worry about justification, trying to make more money for your family, for whatever you want, for a new car, for a new baby, whatever that is. But there's a justification to an owner, to your boss. You justify. He has to understand the justification about why you need to have your money. So now you leave this situation, you put yourself into the world, and now you're him. Now, you don't think that when he says, I'm raising your rent or I'm raising the price of this gadget, he's justifying. No, he's just doing it because it works out. He doesn't have the time to show you his business plan and see, my expenses went up. That's why I raised your prices. When I go into my favorite watering hole and I order a scotch for $3 and next week it's $3.50. And I say, well, why is it $3.50? And they just say, well, because it's $3.50.
Because we raised the prices.
Right. And they could sit down for an hour and explain to me, well, we looked at our numbers and our expenses on this liquor went up.
And you as a customer don't care about any of that.
Right. We don't
You're
care.
just like, well, am I willing to pay that for this now?
Right.
Okay, I am. And so then it's like finding the value, because there's the first step for somebody who's going to be taking on the owner point of view is finding where in the market with what you offer right now, what is the threshold that people are willing to start saying no more than they're willing to say yes. So you keep pushing it up. I remember when I first started increasing rates, it was just like that. It was like $650. Oh, and then I'm like, now I'm $750. And it was like, okay, well, that was easy. $850. Okay. And it's like, gosh. And I like got over $1,000 just like that over the course of 3 sales meetings because it was like no big deal, each of those steps. I'm like, wow, well, if there was I could have been making $350 more per show all this time.
Right.
And it would have been the same yes for the same whatever, the same everything. It would have been not a big deal, right? And so like first find out there. And then now, okay, so you can earn that amount of money for doing just exactly what you've always been doing. So then what can you What can you propose, or what value of what you're already delivering can you articulate in a way that it matches what's important to them and an outcome that they want to actually then have a greater proposition of value
and there's two ways to look at this as well. Yeah, I suppose depending on what you're selling, the marketplace and what it will bear is part of the conversation. But there's a difference. There's two different conversations that two different owners have as well when it comes to pricing your stuff. And we're talking about pricing. There's the price that we think the customer will pay, and there's the price that you need to make your business viable. They are not often the same. You can make it, this is what I get paid because this is what I need to make. That's not the conversation you have with your client. You don't tell them, I charge you this because I have to charge you this. No, you just charge this because this is what it pays. I've been living in this is what it pays. This is what I get paid for a long time, well beyond what I think my customers will pay. Mm-hmm. What I think my customers will pay. If I was just within the marketplace and I was looking at other DJs and other DJ companies and where I live and the amount of money and the demographics, then I would be on a finite price and now asking them for exactly what they would be paying me anyway. And if I'm living in a world where I need to make a certain amount of money and I'd like to see more money as I go, I need to now put out a price that it literally, this is what I need to make.
Well, and that's a commodity. That's a commodity kind of thing. Like in the entertainment, when it's like an experiential or entertainment, then you're out of the commodity things. It's not just very, this item has these characteristics or it doesn't, and X amount of quality or it doesn't, and then as it compares to other comparable products, the price is X, right? Whereas in the experience economy, it's much more relative to the value of the experience. Plus, like if you're using what you do specifically, like you deliver like way more than anybody. I mean, the amount of input that you put into creating that production is like way more than what somebody else that I know it's not the conversation, but the thing is in terms of the value that the person is experiencing and getting from working with you.
Yeah, but trust me, I swear to God, if I could show up and not put any preparation into what I'm doing and deliver on the experience that I promise, I would. Okay, less work, more money. That's our whole goal, right? That's why you get into business. You want to work less, you want to make more. Well, if I could show up and just show up and not put any time and effort into it and still deliver on this amazing experience that people talk about, which is the only way I can make any money because all of my referral business, I do that. No, I can't. But they don't care.
You can't.
They don't care.
Oh, there's no such thing as can't. I triple dog dare you to make it happen.
But they don't see. They don't care how little I put into it or how much I put.
No, they care about the result that you produce.
Right. And that's a huge difference in how we look at what we do and how we explain to people what we do and what we do and what you do. There's lots of things that go into it, but it doesn't really matter.
The new problem to solve is how to arrange it all so you can just show up, get paid the same, put a fraction into it, and then get the same result. Go.
Okay. Well,
and that's another show.
Well, so what do you think of this conversation? I know this is a conversation a lot of people have had, and it's been having.
Oh, this is a never-ending conversation.
Not just in the DJ business.
This is business.
I hear this mostly in micro businesses with 3, 4 or less employees,
or solopreneurs, where it's like your time, you only have your time to put in, and you get paid for your time and effort.
Time get paid. Get paid. And that's nothing wrong with that, but you hear this conversation a lot. The biggest companies don't have this conversation. This is a conversation to kind of roll their eyes at. Well, no wonder we're making all the money and you aren't. So what do you think? And what are your opinions? Where are you on your development level? Do you see yourself being in a different conversation sometime, or are you kind of where you are? We'd like to know. Write it in the comments below. Check out BillAndJasonShow.com and tell us there. Be sure to subscribe to the show, or just reach out to us. We want to know what's going on, and we'll see you next time on the Bill and Jason Show.
Yes.
Broadcasting from high atop planet Earth at a rate of 96 kilobytes sample per second over the interweb in an effort to stop glorifying being busy. This has been an entertainment experience production.